You're tuned into Recovery TV, the voice of hope, with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Discussions and information on addiction and mental health issues. Here's your host with today's guest.
Welcome to another edition of Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. Narcan, please get it. CVS, Walgreens, URI, it saves lives. We need to save more lives, so please get a box of it. My guest today is from the Bob Holding Foundation, which was just confirmed, put together in a box. My good friend Bob passed away about a year ago.
Yes, year and a half.
And Christine King and Elaine Holding are here, the two main factors of the foundation. So welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining us today. Elaine, I want to first open up the show and tell the people who Bob Holding was.
Well, Bob was one of the kindest people I've ever met. He was hilariously funny. I never laughed so hard and so much. He just woke up every day wanting to give back and wanting to make a difference. And he just couldn't do enough for other people.
You know, in talking to Bob when he was here on the show, or he was at the radio show that I had previous, he had the drive. He had the drive to help young people, which we need more than ever now
Yes.
with the young people. And he was always conscientious about his work. He always loved the people that he dealt with, especially the young people. And, you know, he used to tell me stories about folks that, you know, he sat down with, young folks, high school kids that he worked with, and try to get them on the straight and narrow. You know, we have a lot of issues going on right now. I mean, we've had issues in the number of towns with football. Thanksgiving, we had a altercation, Rogers, Smithfield. The young kids today are not like the young kids when we were kids. Totally different.
Yeah, it's changed.
It's changed a lot. And I can remember Bob, you know, sitting in that chair and telling me, I got to keep going. I don't want to retire. I want to keep. I want to keep going because these young folks today need a lot of help. So unfortunately, Bob passed away, and you guys took it to the next level with the foundation. Christine, I guess you're the driver of the bus of the foundation.
She sure is.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the foundation?
Thank you. I think Bob's spirit is the driver of the bus of our foundation. We're the hands and feet kind of doing the spirit of the work. We formed, it had been the Academy Foundation, which some folks in East Greenwich, Barbara Tufts and Janet Joyce started back in the 80s, and they passed the work to Bob. And it had evolved of being an organization that helped people resource around affordable housing and community need. So Bob, you know, continued the work of the foundation of supporting community members' needs, the kind of need that maybe wasn't filled in some other place or space, and really building community, support, connecting people. So the Academy Foundation was an extension of the work he was doing in the town. And after he passed away, Elaine kind of circled up the group and invited us in to continue, and we felt like it just really made sense to have it changed to the Bob Holding Foundation.
So what is the ultimate goal of the foundation? I know you said a little bit about it, just explaining about the foundation, but is it to raise awareness for something? Is it to raise funds for something? Is it to raise what?
Raise what? Good question. I think our number one priority when we think about working in Bob's spirit is community building. And if that community building is in walks, that we do community walks, if it's in talks and talking to one another in community building spaces, or having speakers or being present at things. If it's about sharing resources we have, providing, we support some community giving efforts when people have needs that they can't meet in other ways, some holiday drives, back to school, try to look at all those opportunities where community members may be in need. We help support the teen center in town. We have a community dinner coming up, so really community building and walk, talk, sharing in the ways that Bob did. And I think something that's really important to all of us and the mission is that we're doing it alongside of people. We're in along with people and connecting with people and trying to build bridges of community so that people feel included and cared for, and that if they feel on the fringe of anything, that they know they have a place or space, or at least an invitation from our group to help them get connected to whatever makes sense. So we also do a lot of resource sharing.
Yeah, one of the things too, when Bob invited me to go speak at the town council meeting one night, and Bob was like E.F. Hutton.
Yeah.
When E.F. Hutton spoke, everyone listened. And I can remember people in the audience chattering, talking. But once Bob got introduced, you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
And the young people that were with Bob that night spoke very highly of Bob, community building, especially in today's
It's so
society.
important.
Yeah.
It's so much needed.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's important, but it's needed
Yeah.
badly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to try to get people to work together for the same cause is difficult. Everyone has their own agenda, but
Yeah.
when you get everybody in the room, you lock the door and say, listen, nobody leaves until we can get it done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the way foundations need to work. Because if you're going to carry the ball or the trophy
Yeah.
in Bob's memory, everyone needs to row in the same direction.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's true.
And when the community sees that, the community will understand that,
Yeah.
and the community will help with that.
And that's what we're doing, because we're working with several departments in the town of East Greenwich. One is the recreation department, doing the teen center and field trips. And we're also working with Maria Bucci, who is the new director of the prevention and support services. And we want to make sure that we're not overlapping,
Right.
that we can all be on the same page and strengthen each other, versus we're all running in different directions. So there's a lot of communication and support going both ways to make sure that that doesn't happen, that we're not.
Does the community see what you're doing as far as wanting to help and wanting to move the ball down the field? I mean,
Yes, I think we have
Yeah.
volunteers that
Yeah.
are excited about coming up with programs. We have one volunteer that's wanting to do an art-based program, meeting once a month, and she would like to have visiting artists come for that one evening, and it will be kids and adults. So again, there's a community of generations. It's not just
Right.
focused on the
Yeah.
kids and the adults, but both groups helping each other. So there's a lot of stuff that we're trying to do, like the community dinners. We're going to set the table every year for the community. And when you think about a community dinner, it's not just about feeding the body, but it's about feeding the soul. It's about feeding communication. It's about feeding new friendships. And there's so much more going on in a family-style dinner than just the dinner itself. So
we're going to talk more about that when we come back. 'cause
very
I-
exciting. That's one of my fun things that I love, the community dinner that we're going to be
Great.
doing every
'Cause
year to pick
I
up.
have to go on break so I can pay the
Okay.
bills. You're watching Recovery TV, and I'm your host, Sean Tassoni. We'll be right back after these messages.
And now back to Recovery TV with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Recovery TV is made possible by our supporting sponsors and our title sponsor, Kodak. Now, here's John and today's guest.
Welcome back to Recovery TV, and I'm your host, Sean Tassoni. The Robert Holding Foundation is in the house. Christine and Elaine, thank you again for joining us, and thank you for moving the parade,
Thank you.
raising money,
My pleasure.
and
Our pleasure.
helping the community.
Yeah,
Um,
it's our pleasure.
more
Absolutely.
communities should do this.
Mhm.
Team building, community building, helping the young folks today. Get them to do something different instead of after school causing a ruckus or getting in trouble. Community building
Mm.
is the key.
Yeah.
Who do you have in the community that are partners in East Greenwich?
When when we think about community building, we think too about lifting up and highlighting all the great partners. So we're not doing all the
Right.
work.
It's a team
Right.
effort.
Yeah.
It is, absolutely.
So, highlighting and lifting up the great community building work and youth support that the schools are doing.
Mhm.
Lifting up the work and supporting what the recreation department is doing, what the town's doing, even through knowing what our faith communities are doing or different groups doing. We've been ending our community walks at the garden at the Varnum House because they're doing community building work too. So
Mhm.
we've been, joining with that group, having a master gardener and people who are interested in gardening. So just kind of whatever community is
Right.
happening.
Right.
I think we look at that ability to highlight, to lift it up, to fill in spaces when needed, and to be called on when other support is needed.
Bob used to talk a lot about the kids in high school, junior high,
Mhm.
Yeah.
working together. Are you still seeing that?
Yes.
The kids want to get involved, kids want to do things with your organization.
Yeah. As the work has changed a bit,
Mhm.
Bob laid amazing foundations
Mhm.
of a lot of the things that most of the things that he brought to the town are really institutionalized. They are happening within the fabric of the town and the schools. Like peer-to-peer mentoring and all different kinds of groups that he started have morphed and changed. They may have different names
Yeah.
or different people involved, but all those roads that he laid to have collective work done and different groups of community, that's all still happening.
Mhm.
We're trying to find our way as to how we best support it, and however our schools need will help, and same with the town.
You say to find your way and
Mm.
how people are going to support, but as you indicated, Bob laid the foundation,
Yes.
and you need a foundation before you build a house.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the foundation's there, you just
Yeah.
have to put one piece of lumber at a time
Yeah.
on that. And what about the town? I know Andy Nada, the town manager, fantastic guy.
Yeah.
Had a
Yeah.
number of conversations with
He's
him,
wonderful.
with Bob, and after Bob's passing, he called me a couple of times. What is the town? Is the town embracing the foundation? I'm sure it is.
Yes.
but
Yes,
I
yeah,
wanted to ask that
absolutely.
question.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm.
We're, just as an example, we're having our community dinner on Wednesday at the Swift Community Center with full support and partnership of the town. They support our community walks that we do. We work together
Mhm.
for the teen center and what that looks
Yeah,
like
field
and the
trips.
programming of that, field trips for kids
Yeah.
and community members. So really just working together, and we feel full support, and I think the town also would feel the full support of what we do if they need
I think,
support.
in all cities and towns, the community issue is a big issue right now.
Mm.
I know in my community, this is gonna air on December 21st, but you know, we're having a community parade, Christmas parade. We have every year in Smithfield on December 6th. It's a huge, huge attended parade
Nice.
where everybody in the community comes out. We have the tree lighting, we have the honor students do a little reading for the younger kids. So it's a good community
Yeah.
event.
Yes.
Every
Good.
community should think about doing something like what you're doing and what the town of Smithfield is doing. Because if you don't pay attention, things can go awry very quickly.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
And you don't want that. I mean, kids today need guidance. You know, we have 15,000 children in Rhode Island right now living with their grandparents because of either overdose issues or split families. And yeah, I've had conversations with people in their 80s now bringing up their grandchildren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very, very
That's-
difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very difficult. And the kids, the kids today, you know, it's hard. It's hard. You know, you go to schools and there's all sorts of ruckus in schools now.
Yeah, and with all the texting and
Right, the phones are bad, and I'm glad the
Yeah.
legislature passed a law where
people can post
no more,
anything.
no more cell phones in
Yeah,
schools.
I think that's a good thing.
You know,
Mm.
and but the community itself, they all need to come together, you know, and try to figure this out.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be saved by the Bob Holdling Foundation or the John Tassoni
No, it's a
Right.
Foundation.
village.
It's a team.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
a
a
village.
team effort.
Yep.
I mean, you know, when you have young kids, high school age kids, you know, getting in trouble, juvenile hearing boards are full now. It's not a good thing. The country's going in a not too good of a direction.
When you think of the challenges you're raising, and you know we're here focused on community, and you think of the relation that community has to mental health and wellness and prevention, that you know we often talk about you know more clinical programs being the answer,
But it
which
takes money.
right, and we
takes
need
money.
those things, but
Yeah.
we also need you know
Help.
the community approach.
Healthy
we need to
environment.
help,
Yeah.
help people feel less isolated, people feel more connected. We need to have. I always think that our mental health and wellness starts with ourselves, then each other, and then our wider community.
Right.
So
Right.
how do we, as individuals, as part of the Bob Holdling Foundation, as in your role, and
Right.
whatever role we're in,
Right.
how do we help people see their own wealth of kind of mental health and wellness tools they have within themselves, or if they don't have, what their neighbor has, their friend has, so that we can all be building and supporting, because
Yeah.
that's prevention.
Right. We're going to take another quick break. You're watching Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. We'll be right back after these messages.
And now back to Recovery TV with your host, John J. Tassoni Jr. Recovery TV is made possible by our supporting sponsors and our title sponsor, Kodak. Now, here's John and today's guest.
Welcome back to Recovery TV, and I'm your host, John Tassoni. The Bob Holdling Foundation is in the house today, and we've been talking with Elaine and Christine, and thank you both for what you're doing for my friend
You're
Bob.
welcome.
I know he's looking down on us, and
Oh, always.
look at these three stooges here we have in the studio. But, I want to talk about the website.
Okay.
Give us the website.
The website is www.bobhodelingfoundation.org.
And you can donate on the website.
Yes.
Can? Yep.
All right, help,
Very
help,
easy.
help. We need
Yeah.
help.
Yes.
It's a 501c3 nonprofit. You can write it off. You're
Yes.
good to
Yes.
go.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, thank you both for coming in today. I greatly appreciate it, and we'll do it again. I want an update in a
Okay,
few
absolutely.
months. We'll do
Thank
that.
you for having us.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching Recovery TV. My guest next week is Mr. Tom Cordier from Rhode Island, and will serve with me in the Rhode Island Senate to talk about his road to recovery. And also following up is Kodak Live, the fully integrated approach to care. We'll see you next week.